Yeah, good day everyone. My name is Mr. John. I'm here to talk about beekeeping. I believe there is no room for anybody to be idle for whatever reason. There are things you need to do to ensure that you are doing well. It might not be so big, but at least you'll be getting something without depending on anybody. So I would like to talk about one of the ways one can get money by beekeeping, keeping bees. It's a part of agriculture. When you talk of agriculture is of different means of doing it. So when you talk of beekeeping, I'm still talking of about agriculture. So a beekeeper then is someone who is not only engaged in a hobby or business, but also someone who, by design or not, is taking an active part in protecting the future of the planet. This sounds dramatic, but in fact is true, as you will find out if you continue. Spending your time beekeeping, unlike other livestock, bees do not need constant attention. They will go out each day and get on with it, whether you are there or not. If you devote one day in 10 to them with occasionally bursts of more attention when required and during the harvest, you would be able to keep bees satisfactorily, and this is the main for only part of the year. During the winter months, you can leave them alone completely unless something dramatic happens, such as flooding, lightning. Beekeepers usually increase the number of beehives they keep, and many expand their activities into selling part of their honey crop at local markets and in the shops. Most will join their local beekeeping association that in some countries such as the UK has very social institution holding shows, dinners and drink parties, lectures and advice sessions. Some of the most cutthroat competitions were carefully. Most commercial beekeepers who make their living from bees started out as hobbyists. Some specialize in honey production, others in pollination services to farmers. Others specialize in rearing queens for sales, and yet others specialize in other hive products such as beeswax, pollen. Some graduate into epitherapy, a very effective alternative type of healing that is fast becoming mainstream medicine. Made honey or propylene soap, face cream, and so on are all sideline for the imaginative beekeepers. Other beekeepers devote their efforts to breeding the effect bees, a calm, gentle, disease resistant, productive creature, despite the fact that a male bee or drone has no father, which complicates the issue. Breeding success is often claimed to be at hand, and then there are the professional interns beekeepers who make a living by hiring themselves out to large commercial outfits all over the world. These young men and women travel the world moving from one hemisphere to the other according to the seasons using their beekeeper skills to pick up the many jobs available in commercial beekeeping. These people start as basic beekeepers and move on to become team leaders, head beekeepers, and managers. They lead a physically hard life of travel and excitement. They pick up a huge range of skill from heavy truck driving to landowners. Despite mediations, plant biology and chemistry, to disease problem solving and everything in between, and they come from all over the world. They need a huge amount of practical ability so that they can exist for weeks on end in often very remote areas. They are ability to so that they can exist for weeks, known as the world's last cowboy. In one beekeeper from in New Zealand and worked with Canadians, Australians, Philippines. There is something we call the Wengo dance in bee farming. What is known as the Wengo? Wengo dance has been studied by scientists for decades, and it is generally believed to be the method by which bees tell one another of the location of food and potential new nest sites. The dance takes the form of a figure of 8 and is performed by workers bee on the vertical surface of a camp. The workers moves along a straight line in the figure of 8 and one goes from side to side. When the one go phase is complete, the bee circles to one side and returns to the starting point. This sequence is then often repeated over 100 times with the direction of the return phase circling alternating each time. The duration of the Wango phase is correlated to the distance of the food source, and the number of cycles performed is correlated to the size of the food supplying. The further the foraging site, therefore, the longer the duration of the Wango, the bigger the food source and the greater the number of down cycles. The angle of the straight line from